Hey y'all, welcome back to Spirit of the Outdoors. Today, let's bottle up some tincture, talk a little bit about tinctures themselves, and a little bit about medicine making from medicinal plants. So the first thing I want to address is a tincture in general. Now I get comments, I don't know where people, they just come up with stuff off the top of their head, or if there's actually people giving them wrong information or what. Somebody commented on one of the videos the other day, a tincture ain't this, it ain't just putting plants in alcohol, it's when you do, I don't know where they got the information. I can't even remember what all they said. It was so ludicrous I didn't even pay it much attention. So what is a tincture? This book right here is, if you're gonna make medicine on a regular basis especially, buy this book. This is how to make medicine. That being said, now this is the Complete Medicinal Herbal. This is a good book. It's a little more expensive, don't cover as many plants, which this book does not cover plants at all. It is just how to make medicine. A lot of different ways of it. This one is basic information, and it goes into, I don't know right which page is it on. Infused oils, powders, capsules, herbal first aid, infused oils, decoction syrup. Right here, it talks about what a tincture is. Tells you how to make it. A tincture is made by steeping the dried or fresh herb in a 25% mixture of alcohol and water. So I don't know whoever the commenter was that got sideways, and the chickens, when I go to talking, they get excited. This book right here though says herbal tinctures are alcoholic or water alcohol solutions prepared from fresh or dried botanicals. It is believed by many that alcohol is a better solvent than water for extracting plant constituents, and that a mixture of alcohol and water will dissolve nearly all the desired constituents of a plant, while at the same time acting as a highly efficient preservative. So it is basically soaking a plant in alcohol and water to extract it. So most of the time we use something like vodka. I prefer something that's about 50-50. Some people want a Everclear that's 90 proof, it's 100 proof. It's still generally about 50-50. Everclear is a little stronger into the fact that it will burn. What I prefer is something that's about half water, half alcohol. So I use a red label vodka most of the time. So what I'm going to do today, I'm not going to go in depth into that, but I did want you to understand what a tincture is and the reason for it. My opinion, most of the medicinal stuff I do, especially this time of year, right now we're at late summer, which is early August into early September, late July you can get started, is the harvest time of most medicinal plants. And these were some right here that I harvested earlier, like skullcap is early on. I put passion flower. You can go back to where I made this tincture, and it has went a lot longer than it needed to. It has not hurt it. It is just getting stronger. It is done in about 30 days. It don't take any longer than that. So I have just now really gotten time to film this video, so I've held off. It won't hurt nothing. For the purpose of the video, the medicine may be stronger, not as strong. We're not going to talk about the quality of the medicine due to it going any longer. I don't see any benefit to letting one go longer than 30 days. I also don't see it hurting anything. So I've got an amber colored bottle right here that I'm going to put the majority of this material in, because you want to filter out most of the light. It'll last longer. An alcohol tincture will last you 4 years, 5 years. Some people say longer, comfortably 4 years. So I'm probably going to start off by straining it into this so that I can pour out of it into what I'm going to pour it into. I also mentioned this in a previous video. I bought this box on Amazon. I will add a link to it. And it is a box that has, I don't know exactly how many, of these little bottles that are good for tinctures. I kind of had wanted to sell some of these tinctures, but I am very scared to do so because I don't know what's legal and not legal. This is not prescribing people medicine. What I am doing today is showing you the history of people doing their own medicine, how it was done in the past. So I'm not telling you how to be a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just an old country boy that has grew up fooling with plants and been around them all my life, and started really learning in the last 5 or 6 years about the medicinal properties of them and researching it. The Native Americans, that I'm interested in a lot of Native American history, used them extensively to make medicine out of. However, I don't think they made an alcohol tincture. This would have been in the early European settlers brought this to the United States. So anyway, I have these bottles. I'm going to put some of the tincture in them. They have labels that go with them. I can put labels on the bottles to keep up. If you're going to do any of this kind of stuff, make sure you label everything, because I promise you, in 6 months, you have no idea what's in what bottle. I can identify some plant materials that are dried. Some of them you cannot. A lot of them, after they've been dried for 6 months to a year, smell similar. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to strain this into this jar. I don't have the perfect setup. I need to get a press. I am probably going to build a press to press this liquid to extract every little drop that I can get out of there. As of right now, we're going to do the best we can. So what I'm going to do to begin with is I have this little straining screen. You buy them, they go in a sink drain. It fits perfectly in the top of this bottle. So ideal for what I'm doing. So I'm going to bring y'all in and let you see right now how I do this. So y'all, I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to try to keep my hands out of the way. So for the most part, the majority of this liquid, we're just going to pour in there. Okay, at this point, I have this, I don't know what this was. I saved it because this purpose, I knew, hey, I can use that. Save everything. So what I'm going to do now is take this and start pushing it. Now this is very makeshift, okay? I am not going to get 100% of the medicine out of here like you could with a good press. So if you're worried about all that, normally I try to make more than what I need. That way I don't worry about it. Because what other few drops you're getting... Let me explain this. You can squeeze this, and what's still in these plants is really not any stronger than what it has already extracted in there. The alcohol has done its job for the most part. So, just, you know, for the people that's like, oh, this is, somebody's going to think, oh, what's still in that plant? You need to squeeze it. It's the stronger. It's all mixed and it's the same now. The alcohol has done its job of pulling out. It's all about being a little bit greedy and wanting the last drop. That's what it's about. So we've got what we're going to get out of there, okay? So this is a fairly effective way to do it. You can buy these little strainer things at probably Walmart. I'm not even sure where I got these. They drop in a sink. So that is what that is. All right. I will dump this out off camera some other time. So right now, to put it in these, you've got a couple of ways of doing this. Number one, it comes with this little bitty funnel that goes in there. So I'm going to try to do this with a double funnel just so that I don't make a huge mess. And the problem right here is this funnel's not getting any air above it. So I'm going to take my time. And the reason I'm doing it this way is I would pour it directly in here, but the way it comes out of this, I tell you what would probably be more effective. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's pour this into this bottle. And then out of this bottle, I can probably pour it into that a lot easier. Let's be smart about this. Because as you're pouring it in there, you need air around that funnel. You can't have it just sitting all the way down into there. Actually, I believe all of this is going to go in there. Great, 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 great. That is awesome. I like it when things work out for my benefit. Okay. Now, out of this bottle, and that is full, see. Get that back up there. Now you can screw that on. Now what this tincture actually is that I have made is an anti-anxiety tincture. So with that, we're gonna find us an ink pencil. And we're gonna write on here anti-anxiety. And then we'll stick that right there on that label. And it is a mixture of plants. If I was going to be selling medicine, you would need to write every plant on there so that if somebody perchance is allergic to one of them, they would know. And anybody could be allergic to any various array of plants. There are no poisonous plants in there. So I'm not going to bottle all of this up into small bottles. If somebody was to be interested in some of this, it might, might give it to somebody for if they was to make a small donation to the YouTube channel. So I don't know exactly what all I have mentioned and hadn't mentioned, but an alcohol tincture is probably the most practical method of preserving a medicine for over the winter. The way I use most medicinal plants is I make a tea out of them. This time of year, late summer, everything is time to be harvested. The easiest thing to do is to make a tea, and that can be an infusion or a decoction. The difference between the two is an infusion, you simply submerge the plant into hot water. Dried or fresh plant will work, and it will extract out the water-soluble qualities of that plant into the water. The water is the most common solvent for medicinal plants. The decoction is when you take something a little stronger like root barks, inner barks, roots themselves, some plants, and you literally boil them to extract as much stuff out of it as you can. There are some plants that you do not want to make a decoction out of as far as boiling them, such as wild lettuce, and I can't name every one of them off the top of my hand. And a lot of people are misconstrued by the fact of if you bring wild lettuce to a boil, it just automatically kills every medicinal quality to it. That is not true. And the reason I comfortably say that is I have tested it. I have actually brought it to a boil. You saw when I made a black tar at the very end of the video for just a split second or two, it came to a boil. That did not hurt that plant at all. It may have weakened it just a little, but it is just like poke salad, or which is pokeweed, pokeberries. What that does is the longer it boils, the more of that medicinal property it kills. If it killed it instantly, then you could put water in a jar and it would suck everything out of that plant right immediately, and you could take the medicine in 5 minutes. It takes 30 days for this to extract everything out of there. It don't take 30 days for to kill it, but that high temperature, it takes it a few minutes. The longer it stays at a boil, the longer it kills those plants. The properties of that plant. Honey is another thing. You don't want to get honey to a boil. If you're making a syrup, like elderberry syrup, such as this, you don't want that honey to come to a boil. It will start killing off the properties. If you accidentally look down in there and it just starts coming to a boil right a second and you cut it off right then, you're probably okay. The reason you preach do not let it come to a boil is because a lot of times these medicines are a lengthy process, and that will come to a boil and you're doing something else, or you've walked off or whatever, and it's boiling for 5 or 10 minutes. Then it has probably killed everything. So let's understand these things, because I get a lot of questions on my medicinal plants, and I don't do a lot of medicinal plant and medicine making, especially videos, because YouTube is frowning on it. Number one, they really don't, I think the government don't want us with the ability to take care of ourselves. Big Pharmacy wants us dependent upon them. They're in the business of selling you medicine. I am not. I'm in the business of sharing knowledge and medicinal plant history. So today, this is a history of how the Europeans would have showed up today and made their own medicines, because at that time there weren't doctors, there weren't pharmacies to run to. You couldn't go to Walmart and get a bunch of medicine. So this is my attempt at an anti-anxiety, and what this is a Wash Your Sister's shower sauce bottle. It works real good. It's Worcestershire. It's a running joke to call it Wash Your Sister shower sauce. Any dark bottle, a beer bottle will work. Put you a corn cob in the top of it. You don't really want to store it in these. So what I have done is this made in this mason jar. I have kept it covered up with a rag so that the light wouldn't destroy it. The light will not automatically just completely eradicate the medicinal properties. They just over time will weaken it. If you leave this stored where the light shines on it on a regular basis, it will weaken it. So even this in this dark bottle, put it in a cabinet, shut the door where there's no light. It'll last you a lot longer. I hope you were able to learn something about medicine making, your journey. We're fixing to go into making some more medicinal plant videos because it is now harvest time. It is the time of year that things are flowering, berries are ripe. I have already harvested my elderberries. I've done several videos on them, so I don't tend to redo the same plants over and over. However, the plantain has been a really good video. The video quality, in my opinion, is very horrible. So I'm probably going to make another newer one of them, because I have a bunch of people wanting me to give them some salve so they can make a donation to the channel. And I will probably film making a plantain salve video. So anyway, thank y'all for watching Spirit of the Outdoors. Remember, the best way to do things is the way you like to do it. We'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one.